Just a quick video on van life. It's a change, eh? Van life, car life, what do you want to call it? I'm a fan of car life, living in a car, preferably to a van. Because you can just you can park a car where you can't park a van. The vans are alright, but if you're going to get the nice scenic areas in a van, most have got height restrictions. If you're in a 4 metre van, you won't get under it, under the height restriction. In a car, straight in, isn't it? Easy. You can, this is it, with a van, you get the space. Excuse me, fake coughing on. With a van, you want the space to live in, but the thing sticks out, doesn't it? It's visible, isn't it? 4 metres of space, or 4 metres, it's nearly 6 metre van, isn't it? With the engine bit and the metre for seats and then a 4 metre on the end, 6 metres. So, living in a van's alright, but they're as easy to drive as a car. But I've driven most of them for work. But as good as they are for space, they're awkward. If you want to find a parking space, you need to find two, pretty much, to park with. These two small car parking spaces. You need that just to park the van. If you're in a drive-through, if you're in a fast food place, you need to have certain spaces, or be good at reversing. That's the van. Because I remember in the van, you're parking your double beds, your kitchen, your wardrobes, your fridge freezer, and everything else. In the car, you're not. So costs of van life. Van life is basically probably about £1,000 insurance a year. Expect £1,000, £1,500 for an MOT. It could be. If you expect it on that, if you get a £500 MOT, you've saved yourself £1,000. But if you expect it to be £500 and you've only got £500 for a £1,500 MOT, excuse the background noise, and then you're stuck in it. I know that because I was stuck. I expected a cheap MOT and it wasn't a cheap MOT. But so you got about £1,500, so it's £2,500, and road fund, which is about £200 or £300. It's about £3,000. Your cost for the van life is £3,000 plus your van, and you get a van for £3,000. So then you've got, if you're in a van, £3,000 plus the van, which is £6,000. So £3,000 van, which is £6,000. £3,000 cost, £3,000 van, £6,000 plus fuel. If you live in a house, you've got your house costs. You can't even rent a room for £6,000, a decent one. And then next year you've got to pay another £6,000, that's £12,000. So already in a van, the next year, as you already own the van, and say you bought a £3,000 van and £3,000 cost, next year you've already got the £3,000 van, so all you've got is your cost, so you've got £3,000. So next year, if you're actually renting a room, you save £3,000 already, didn't you? So the first year costs you £6,000, and the next year costs you only £3,000. Whereas in a rented room, the first year costs you £6,000, the next year costs you £6,000, and every year after costs you £6,000 or £7,000 a year for a room. If you're going to live in a room, you might as well live in a van on wheels, which is a room, isn't it? Or a car. But living in a car, the way of life is fantastic. Freedom is brilliant. And until you've done it, you won't realise it. So when you see all these YouTubers saying, oh, it's fantastic living in a car, it is. It's brilliant. I've said it when I'm in my number plate guide videos, and I think it's fantastic. It's much better than living in a room. But you can't get, you can get a room. You're going to pay £6,000 for a year for a room, but you can only probably afford £400, £500 to put down. But you'll end up paying every week or month. Towards the end of the year, you'll have paid £6,000. Why can't you do that with a car? Why can't you walk in a car garage and say, I want to pay £400 for that up front, no contract or anything, just 400 quid on our next month I pay like a landlord. Or tenancy agreement, like, with a car or a van, so you can live in it. Why can't you do that? Easy, isn't it? So then you just pay. You buy a £6,000 van from a car retailer. Put 400 quid up front and pay 400 quid next month, and before you know it, you paid the van back a year and a half, haven't you? Why can't you have that arrangement with vans? Because vans are still being sold as vans to drive for businesses. But they should, more and more people are getting understanding that vans are camper vans. And they should have a camper van arrangement. A camper van tenancy agreement. Almost like landlords. Not landlords, landlords. But I'll check the website address. It's been bought, so there must be something like that. So you should actually get a van, not on the current lease or no lease. You should be able to buy it on a accommodation loan, rental loan, on some same terms as you rent a room. You should be able to buy a van on the same basis. So you could be heavily in debt, and whether you pay it from work or Universal Credit pay it, they're going to pay for your room, either one or the other, for you to live. So you shouldn't have to have. You can be heavily in debt and still rent a room, because you're only in the room until you get on pay. So you should be able to buy a van on the same basis. So basically you could buy a 3 or 4 for a £6 van, pay 400 quid, you're in it for that month. If you can't pay the 400 quid after that month, you're not. That's how vans should be sold. And there should be, in van retailers, there should be a vanlife person that can make it and just say, when you buy a van, what do you want in it? I want the bed here, I want the fridge freezer there, I don't need this, and I want solar panels on the roof and an inverter, whatever, a battery, leisure battery or whatever. You should be able to say that to any van retailer. They should have a special